What is up, guys? It's your boy Mo, and today we're watching a video called The Real Little Uzi Vert Story Documentary by Publish X. Now, last time we watched the Chief Keef one, that one really was a nice documentary that they made. Today we're gonna be checking out the Lil Uzi Vert ones. I just thought I'd check it out today, since the Lil Uzi Vert fans kind of pissed me off. Not all of them, but some of them. It's a good portion, and it's just like, it's basically what I be seeing. Like, I be following people that be fans of Lil Uzi. They be annoying as hell. Like, just a couple of them. Neither am I a Chief Keef fan. I say I'm a Chief Keef supporter. It do hit different. I don't find myself being a fan of people, because I think being a fan of people is basically idolizing. And I see the type of behavior some of these fans have. Like, with the Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy type joint, they like to think that beef is theirs too. It's not, bro. Just stop dick eating, you know what I mean? But no further ado, let's get into the documentary.
I don't got money. That's what I'm saying. I don't got money to do shit like that, but I just be living in the moment. All the time. All the time.
Bro, y'all want to know what's crazy too? Little Uzi literally lived kind of like right down the street from, not right down the street, but I say like 10 blocks up, or maybe like 20. I think I just now learned he from like Francisville. So like that's blocks away from me. Like he lived in my section of Philadelphia.
Samir Woods was born on July 31st, 1994.
It's probably like, it's many sections of North Philadelphia and it's many sections of West and South Philly. But yeah, like that's what they said on here. It says Francisville, bro.
In Francisville, Philadelphia. Growing up, Samir wasn't like most of the other kids. The way he dressed, the things he liked, and the music he listened to was different. With his parents being divorced, Samir was forced to bounce between homes a lot. Although he was in a rough neighborhood of Philly, he managed to avoid trouble by staying inside most of the time, playing video games and watching anime. He listened to a lot of Mike Jones, Wiz Khalifa, and Meek Mill, but around 13 years old his taste in music changed. He started listening to things like My Chemical Romance and his favorite artist, Marilyn Manson. After discovering Marilyn Manson,
I'm gonna look that shit up, because sometimes I be able to understand a lot of weird people.
This would cause him to get teased at
Lil
school
Uzi a little strange to me,
but he was never afraid to be himself, continuing to
don't get me wrong,
like
he a good artist and shit, but he a little strange to me, like some of the shit he be doing.
His very first taste in music came from playing the trumpet in the school band, but he says he only did it for an easy A. Even though Samir had a lot of acquaintances and was considered the class clown, he struggled to fit into friend groups, to the point where he admits to craving other people's attention. He would get kicked out of school and forced to attend a different one. One day a kid from school named William Aston put out a remix to Chris Brown's Look at Me Now, and the whole school went crazy for it. With Samir used to being the one getting all the attention, he was inspired by how much William was getting. He decided to go up to William and tell him that he raps, even though he had never rapped in his life. William told him to do a freestyle, but Samir would continue to prolong the topic, knowing he couldn't do it. One day William pulled up to his house and told him to come outside, that they were going to his studio. Being put on the spot, Samir had no choice but to tag along. When they got to the studio, he would record his very first song, and to his surprise, he said it came out pretty good. They decided to start rapping together under the name Staketown, where they would start recording music and drop their first music video.
He got the polo shirt too.
Stakedown Anthem.
I guess that's why they
initially rapped by the name Staketown Vertical. When Samir told his
did.
parents he wanted to take rap serious, they were upset and thought he was joking, telling him, "You really want to make a career?" Bro, I don't
understand this thing too. All the Lil Uzi fans be going to that one video, that one old ass video that nobody really knew about, and I know half of y'all not even real fans like that, because it's like a low percentage of niggas that probably originally was there when a lot of people like started rapping.
From rapping, his grades at school began to drop due to his focus being elsewhere, and he would be forced
but
to
y'all be annoying with that shit. Like, that's not even the best video. That's him starting off,
music,
bro.
And told him he rapped kind of fast, like a machine gun or a Lil Uzi, which inspired him to birth the name we all know today, Lil Uzi Vert. At this point, he wanted to drop out of school and was doing anything to avoid it, so he started going harder and recording more music. In 2014, he dropped his first ever project titled Purple Thoughts, which included beats from Space Ghost Perp. One of the songs the two did was White Shit, and it came out with a music video. This is also around the time that he made a SoundCloud account and began uploading his first music. His music would catch the ear of a DJ named DJ Buzzworthy, who reached out to William and Lil Uzi offering to manage them. William declined the offer, but Uzi took it. He was looking for any hope of blowing up and getting out of school. DJ Buzzworthy introduced Uzi to a producer named Charlie Heat, who would start feeding him beats, and they uploaded multiple tracks on SoundCloud. At this point, Uzi's songs went from a couple hundred plays to a few thousand, which he says at the time meant the world to him and gave him hope. DJ Buzzworthy would give one of Uzi's songs to the Philly radio station Power 99, where DJ Diamond Cuts started to play the song in rotation.
I ain't
Even though
gonna
he
lie, he
managed
gotta
to
be
get a
one of the
song on
best
the
niggas
local
to come
radio,
out of
his
the
mother
city,
was
yo.
still not
No
impressed and
bullshit.
would repeatedly tell him to find a real job.
Like, a lot of people
In an
don't stay
attempt to
on
keep
soon
his
as they
mom
get
happy,
out.
he would get a job at a grocery store, but he quit after 3 days. This led to more arguments with his mom, and he would be kicked out of the house and forced to live with his grandma in a nursing home. Just months down the road, one of the co-founders of Atlantic Records happened to be driving through Philly when he heard Lil Uzi on the radio station. It was Don Cannon, and he immediately heard potential and reached out to Uzi. This would lead him to taking Uzi under his wing and signing him to his Academy imprint. But make no mistake, he was still extremely underground at this point. Don Cannon would introduce Uzi to DJ Drama at Wiz Khalifa's concert in Philly, and they decided to bring Uzi from Philly to Atlanta to work on more music. Shortly after, he would drop the Real Uzi tape, which was hosted by Don Cannon himself, and with the help of Don, even got him production from Metro Boomin. The tape would do decently from an underground perspective and give him a small but valid buzz, to where people like ASAP Yams would reach out and tell Uzi to keep working, and he became his friend. In January of 2015, Uzi would be featured on Carnage WDYD with Rich the Kid and ASAP Ferg, bringing his name in front of a lot of new people who would run to his SoundCloud to find more music. With more and more fans tuning in to Lil Uzi's unique style, Don Cannon and DJ Drama would get him
That's
an even
tough.
bigger deal through Generation Now Atlantic, which was a huge win and turning point in his career. While signed to Drama's Generation Now, Uzi would link up with rapper Scheme, who was also signed to the same label. Their collaborations would also play an important role in his early career, gaining them a small fan base in 2015. In October of 2015, he dropped his debut mixtape under the label titled Love Is Rage 1, which would be detrimental to his success and keep the buzz he had going. The tape featured songs like 7am and Top, and also had production from some of the biggest producers in the game: TM88, Lex Luger, Sony Digital, and Wheezy. To this day, the tape is still considered a fan favorite. To add even more hype around Uzi's name, the day after the tape dropped, he was featured on Young Thug's Slime Season 2 on the track Big Racks. These two events would simultaneously keep Uzi's name buzzing around for months to come, as they were both gaining more and more popularity. As blogs started to cover Uzi's music and interviews followed, Uzi would say this: "I want to be as big as I can be. I want to be one of the biggest artists. I want to be remembered like, he is crazy. He is phenomenal." In 2016, Uzi would drop his second official mixtape, Lil Uzi vs. The World, which included songs like Money Longer, P's and Q's, and You Was Right. The tape would bring Uzi right to the edge of the mainstream, as fans awaited his debut album. A month later, he would be featured on the song Pull Up with Wiz Khalifa, which was a monumental moment for Uzi. He looked up to Wiz since he was younger, as well as the fact it would be his first gold recording plaque. In June of 2016, XXL Freshman announced that Lil Uzi would be one of the featured artists of that year. In July, they dropped the 2016 Cypher, which went viral, and would go down as a huge moment in hip-hop for a number of reasons. One of the reasons being the fact that this was a turning point in the new direction of hip-hop, and Uzi was one of the people leading the way. With Lil Uzi vs. The World picking up even more buzz than when it originally dropped, songs like Money Longer would finally hit the Billboard 100.
I was about to go back and read
being
that
his
comment
first
too.
solo
That
song
joint,
to ever
I didn't even
chart,
get to see that
shortly
joint.
followed by You Was Right. You could argue this was the turning point in his career, where he finally broke out of the underground and into the mainstream. While all of this is happening, Lil Uzi would link up with the underground artist at the time, Playboi Carti. The two dropped their first song together, Left Right, and it instantly received positive feedback, creating a merger.
I ain't gonna lie, one thing I can really say about Lil Uzi though, bro, is that nigga one of the only people that don't really change up when they hit fame and stuff. Cause he been they said like he been the same way he was even when he got famous. Like he was doing the same like unusual stuff and everything. It's like nothing never changes. That's just part of him. It played a good part of him getting there too.
Carti and Uzi fans
That's
who
tough.
insisted on them doing more music. As if Uzi wasn't rising to fame enough already, he dropped his second tape of 2016, The Perfect Love Tape. Even though the
Yeah,
tape
like he
was not as
always been like
successful
that,
as others
especially, like,
before
the
it,
color hair
it did
and
have
all
a few
that, like-
standout songs like Erase Your Social, and of course We Ghetto Flowers with Playboi Carti once again.
And y'all gotta
He would
realize
be
for a
featured
lot
on
of
the
people,
Migos
like,
smash
you
hit
really
Bad
just
and
need
Bougie,
to
which brought controversy
like,
between
get money to
fans
really
because
show,
they
like, who
argued
you
whether
is.
his verse was good or bad, bringing more attention to his name. As if two tapes and bursting into the mainstream wasn't enough, he ended 2016 with yet another tape, this time collabing with Gucci Mane for 1017 vs. The World. He spent the rest of 2016 doing shows around the world as a guest on The Weeknd's tour. While Uzi was on tour, he began
I remember
working
that
on
joint. His
more
verse
music
was
as
hard. I ain't gonna lie
2017
to you.
approached. In the beginning of 2017, Uzi surprised everyone by dropping 4 songs on his SoundCloud, which would be considered to be Love Is Rage 1.5. One of the songs was EXO Tour Life. The song was recorded and inspired by his tour with The Weeknd. The song would go down as one of the biggest songs of the year, as well as his most successful song, going over 7 times platinum, and once again elevating his career to new heights. He would spend most of 2017 building hype around his debut album, as well as dropping multiple hit songs with Playboi Carti. At the end of 2017, his debut album, Love Is Rage 2, finally dropped, selling 135,000 its first week, and proving that Uzi was here to stay. He stayed pretty consistent up to this point, dropping new music, but after 2017, things started to change. Fans were used to getting at least 2 tapes a year from Uzi, but 2018 started out slow and it didn't get much better from there. He started to tease that there was a new project coming, and eventually revealed that its name would be Eternal Atake, and even dropped the cover art. He later dropped his new single, New Paddock, leading many people to believe that the tape would drop shortly after, but once again, nothing came. In 2019, Uzi announced that he had signed a new label deal, this time with Rock Nation. Shortly after the news, he would drop 2 more songs, Sanguine Paradise and That's a Rack. This inevitably started the hype for his tape all over again, with fans starting to get upset at him for making them wait so long. After a year and a half of little to no music, Uzi came out on Twitter multiple times letting fans know he wasn't the one choosing to not drop music, but he was having issues with his label. Unfortunately, Eternal Atake would not come out until March of 2020,
Yo, this
2
tag
years
inside
after
my
Love Is
joint
Rage
is
2.
like,
Despite the tremendous
yo,
long wait,
bruh.
fans were just excited
I'm
to
gonna
have
take
new
this
music.
joint off,
1 week
man.
after dropping this, he would release 14 tracks on a deluxe version titled Lil Uzi vs. The World 2. With fans satisfied now, people's only worry was that it would be another 2 years between every tape like that again. He would feature on songs like Party Girl, and in July he hinted that him and Future would be dropping a collab tape as well. Many fans tried not to get too excited about
I ain't
the
gonna
tape
lie,
in case
that-
it never dropped.
Yo, that had to be the hardest album I've ever heard too, though. That joint had Chief Keef and all.
But it actually
bro.
did. It came on November
That joint was
13th,
tough.
2020, titled Pluto, Baby Pluto. To date, things are starting to look better for Uzi and his fans. It looks like most of his label issues have been taken care of, and he's been teasing the idea of going back to 2016 Uzi, even dyeing his hair back to the iconic purple dreads. When Uzi came into the game, he claimed that he was going to be a rock star one day. Some people laughed at him. Today he's one of the biggest artists worldwide, and he has nothing else to prove. But it wasn't easy. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, consider liking and subscribing for more.
Damn, that's the video? I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That's the end of this video. I really like this documentary that Publix X be doing. I like all his documentaries, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Cause these, like, it's cool to see who people really was before they started like blowing up. You know what I mean? And then you either, sometimes you want to bet on if they gonna stay the same or if they don't. So yeah, that's tough as hell. But yeah, that's my take. We out. We bipping.